we say, Shebachol dor v'dor, omdim aleinu l'chalosenu. In every generation, they're trying to wipe us out. If that's the case of Klal Yisrael in general, when it comes to the Jews in Eretz Yisrael, Shebachol yom v'yom, every day, there is a terrorist entity that is trying to get rid of us. And the question is, what is our zechus kiyum? What is it that keeps us here in Eretz Yisrael? In order to answer that question, I think we have to look at how were we zechus to Eretz Yisrael in the first place? And the answer to this question lies in the second bracha of benching. The bracha of Nodelecha concludes ala aretz ve'ala mazon, birkas ha'aretz. And the Gemara tells us in brachas and daf mem ches and mem tes, brought down in Shulchan Aruch, siman kuf pei zayin. There, it's paskin la'alacha that in the birkas ha'aretz you must mention bris v'torah. Without bris v'torah, you're not yotzei. And Rashi explains, and Mishnah Berurah explains, it's the zechus of bris and Torah that gave us Eretz Yisrael. There's a discussion if that's a din daraisa d'Rabbanan, ayin sham. There's a discussion if you need to actually say the words bris v'torah, or it's enough to say val brischa shechasamte b'sareinu, val torascha shalim adetanu, which is minhag Ashkenaz. Be that as it may, it's the zechus of bris v'torah that keeps us in Eretz Yisrael. There's a diyun, what is referred to as Torah? Is it general kiyum ha-Torah va-mitzvahs, or is it more specifically limud ha-Torah? That's also discussed. Different sources say different things. From our nusach of al-Torah shlim adetanu, it definitely sounds like Talmud Torah. So Talmud Torah has a dual purpose. On the one hand, Talmud Torah kineged kulam, it's an end in and of itself. On the other hand, the Gemara in Kiddushin tells us, Barasi Eitzahara, Barasi lo Torah Tavud. The Torah gives us the zechus and the wherewithal and the power to fight against the Eitzahara. When we look at the bris that's referred to over there, so Rashi sends us to the Psukim in Lech Lecha. Hashem gives Avram Avinu mitzvahs, bris, Milah. And over there, in the same paragraph, it's very clear that Avram Avinu is promised Eretz Yisrael in the zechus of the bris that he's going to perform as Brisi Tishmar. Many years later, Klal Yisrael are about to go into Eretz Yisrael, Yoshua Perek Hey, and Hashem tells Yoshua bin Nun, wait, we need a mass Milah. Just as we had 40 years ago when Klal Yisrael left Mitzrayim, before you go into Eretz Yisrael, you need a mass Milah. Bnei Yisrael did not perform Mitzvah's Milah in the Midbar. They felt it was dangerous. Before they go into Eretz Yisrael, they need to have a mass Milah. And Yoshua explains to Klal Yisrael, our zechus to Eretz Yisrael is through Bris Milah. When the Ramban discusses Bris Milah, he says the following. He quotes the Radak, the reason for Bris Milah, Shesam Zikaron. We have a permanent reminder, Be'ever HaTaiva, on the organ of desire, Rav HaMehuma V'Achet, which is potential for great confusion and sinning. And continues the Ramban, the purpose of Mitzvah's Milah, Lebal Yishtam Shubo Rak B'Mitzvah V'Mutter, to make sure to use our bris only b'makom where it's mutter and will become a mitzvah, and to stay away from anything that is usher and that will distract us and take us away from our relationship with Hashem. May Hashem give us the strength to be mischazek, strengthen ourselves in the learning of Torah, and thereby strengthen ourselves in Shmiras HaBris, and maintain our zechus kiyum in Eretz Yisrael. Ad bias Goal Tzedek Mimheira V'Yameinu.
Thank you for listening to the Guard Your Eyes Daily Chizuk broadcast. Pass them on to your friends and help spread Kedusha in the world.